You're watching the Weather Channel for accurate forecasts at your convenience. Weather you can always turn to.
Now before the top of the hour, time for the precipitation report, sponsored by Rain-X, the invisible windshield wiper for improved visibility and driving safety. We check out our national radar and we see wet weather in the corners. There's showery weather moving into Seattle, Tacoma, down to Portland and Salem, Oregon. Some scattered precipitation in the midsection. Isolated thunderstorm around Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Really not much going on inland, but then as we work to the other corners of the country, upstate New York around Watertown and moving on in towards Montpelier, Vermont and Rutland, we have some showers. And then in the southeast, there's a little bit of wet weather. Let's check out the action in New England now in upstate New York as we check out a regional radar. You can see showers whisking through Syracuse and Watertown, heading towards Glens Falls and working on into New Hampshire. Everything's heading rapidly to the east now at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. And we'll be a little wet around the corners with the heaviest rain this afternoon over central parts of Florida.
Good visibility is essential to driving safety, especially during wet and hazardous weather. Unless you can see where you're driving, you're an accident just waiting to happen. That's why you should be using Rain-X, the invisible windshield wiper. It disperses rain, sleet, and snow, mud, bugs, and grime on contact. Now that's performance. Clearly, Rain-X makes the difference between seeing and not seeing what's ahead. For safety's sake, go out and get your Rain-X today.
Look for Rain-X, the invisible windshield wiper at all fine automotive departments near you.
Freedom of choice, the foundation of the American marketplace. When searching for insurance to protect yourself, your family, your property, or your business, an independent insurance agent can offer you a lot more choices. Independent agents are free to help you shop around. They're experienced in navigating the marketplace to find the best coverage for the right price. Look for the big I and call today.
Independent agents representing consumers for over a century. Visit your local independent agent today.
And it's time once again to check on the tropics for you. So let's get you right to the satellite picture and roll it into motion and check on some of our trouble spots. And yes, the tropics are still active as we move our way through late September here. We're getting into the prime season now. This is pretty much prime time hurricane season as we move our way through mid and late September. And we do see two interesting looking features here in the tropics. This one's been an old low that we've been watching the past couple of days drifting northwest. And this one is a newly formed tropical depression. As we look in between that, we still have that upper low spinning off to the north of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, and that's spinning us some clouds and showers there. Here comes a tropical wave. We've been watching that the past couple of days. That's not showing any signs of development. North of here, the remnants of old Maryland just still kind of hanging on. Don't have to worry about that, though. That's just kind of drifting to the east. And there's the old frontal zone stretching off the east coast and cutting across North Florida. So let's get you right into our trouble spots and start you off with tropical depression number 16. 11.5 north, 40.9 west, 11.5, 40.9 west. So here's pretty much where the center of circulation is, right about here. And it's moving off to the west-northwest at about 15. Top wind's about 35 miles an hour with this tropical depression. Here you can see that other tropical wave, and here you can see the Lesser Antilles. There's Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands right here. There's Barbados, and about 1,300 miles or so to the east of the Lesser Antilles is the center of circulation. So here's the Lesser Antilles. Here's your center of circulation. It's moving off to the west-northwest about 15. And continue to move slowly to the west-northwest over the next 24 to 48 hours with some minor intensification in the forecast. So that would mean we'd be looking at yet another tropical storm out here in the Atlantic. And the next name on the list is Noel. Okay, your last storm was Maryland, so this one, the male gender, so this will be a Noel, not Noel, but Noel. Okay, so here comes what could be Noel later on today. Right now it's tropical depression number 16 in the Atlantic here, and there you can see the clouds just kind of rotating around the center of circulation and through here. Of course, with this being so far away from the islands, it's out of a Hurricane Hunter range, so we'll have to wait for this to get a little bit closer on in. But right now, tropical depression 16 here, moving off to the west-northwest at about 15. And there is potential for further intensification into a minimal tropical storm later today or by tonight. As we get you into the Gulf of Mexico and into the Caribbean here, we've been watching a large area of disturbed weather, moving slowly northwest the past couple of days. And here you can see Florida, and here's the Yucatan. And the center of our circulation now is pretty much here coming into the Yucatan coast. Let's close into this area right now. And here's pretty much where the center of circulation is, right about here. And it continues to move its way slowly towards the west-northwest. So here you can see a little flare up here in the most recent satellite pictures. But with this little low here moving its way slowly west-northwest, it's moving over the land area. So with tropical systems moving over land, we're getting away from the heat engine, the very warm tropical water. So if this is going to develop into a tropical storm, a depression or a storm, it would have to move out into the Gulf of Mexico, so we'll have to wait until then. So with this very weak low drifting towards land, if it continues to move west-northwest over land, which it probably will, we'll have to wait until another day for development with this. So right now just a lot of heavy rain and thunderstorms, but notice some of that moisture beginning to move up towards South Florida, so an increase of some showers and thunderstorms here. So right now, weak area low pressure right on the coast of the Yucatan. That will continue to drift off towards the west-northwest. So we'll have to wait till another day to see what will come out of that. But the hurricane hunters, they'll be investigating probably later on this morning and early this afternoon. Now this morning's weather. It's sponsored by Slick 50 Fuel System Formula. Returns lost performance for more power to you from Slick 50. Okay, to the airports we go, and we do have some delays in Nashville. Reason why? Dense fog. There you can see the yellow representing where the visibilities are less than a half a mile. We've had huge problems with fog outside of Philly, some problems on the bridges there in town, the Shenandoah Valley, over towards that Great Valley of Tennessee. Oh, I bet you that spot on I-75 there north of Chattanooga is a real nightmare, that fog zone. Let's look at morning temperatures. Cool in the east, but warm and tropical in Florida and quite humid here too. And near this old front, more showers and thunderstorms are in your forecast today. Stay with us. Bruce will tell you more about travel problems in the east. We have more problems besides the fog.
If your car isn't performing like it used to, put back the power with Slick 50 Fuel System Formula. 10 times more powerful than the leading fuel treatment, Slick 50 cleans the entire fuel system. You'll feel the difference guaranteed. Ask for Slick 50 Fuel System Formula. More power to you.
Slick 50 Fuel System Formula can be found at the following fine retailers:
a bowling ball, a pineapple, a birthday cake, a Nokia cellular phone. One of these objects would make it easier for me to juggle my schedule.
He's a juggler. You're not. Pick up a Nokia cellular phone to help you juggle your schedule. Nokia, largest European cellular phone manufacturer, now in America.
Nokia, connecting people.
For West Coast info to keep you in the know, watch the Pacific Update. Only on the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to.
And now it's time for the Michelin Drivers Report, brought to you by Michelin and your participating Michelin dealers.
As we look at the Michelin trouble spot, we're going to see some scattered showers over Florida and the southeast through, well, a good chunk of the day today, but that'll be primarily afternoon. Right now there is some wet weather into South Florida that we have around the Keys, and as we check it out on a radar, you can observe, once again, the moisture that's flowing on in and it's lifting on towards the north, so you once again want to be cautious in the Keys. The Gold Coast will see some wet weather moving on in later today. As we check out the big picture, really wet in the corners. Besides the southeast, we've got wet weather in the northwest right now, and we have some showers into the northeast coming across upstate New York and on into central New England, north central New England. Our radar shows the showers moving from Watertown and Syracuse heading towards the Adirondacks and Glens Falls, and a batch coming through the Champlain Valley and slipping on towards Lebanon and Concord, New Hampshire. Everything is heading to the east. Might see some strong storms today down across Oklahoma as well as into Florida, but be cautious of the thick fog in the east.
Presenting the ultimate tire for your sport utility vehicle, the Michelin LTX. Michelin's technological advances in sidewall and tread design give it a smoother, quieter ride than you might ever expect from a 4x4 tire. Yet it's rugged enough, tough enough, and Michelin enough to get you through anything. The LTX series from Michelin.
Find Michelin tires at this dealer near you, because so much is riding on your tires.
your local forecast. Accurate, convenient, and dependable. Only on the Weather Channel.
This morning's weather is sponsored by 100% Colombian coffee, the richest coffee in the world.
It's the top of the hour, and we're halfway through the week. It's Wednesday, September 27th. I'm Rick Griffin along with Jodi Saeland. Coming up, we're going to tell you about some weather changes in the west. Nice warm day in the nation's midsection, but some problems in the east in terms of fog this morning.
That's right. That probably is one of the only problems that we're going to have today. Really, this Wednesday, probably the quietest of the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, you look at radar, and there are a few showers here and there on the corners of the country. That's
that is about it. Let's show you the fog, though, because Rick mentioned that really is a big problem this morning. Fog is very widespread from central PA all the way down through the Cumberland Plateau. Dense fog advisories really exist from eastern and central Tennessee all the way back on through Oklahoma and Kansas, and you can see the fog is now developing across South Georgia and North Florida as well. There are no delays yet at the major airports, although we are reporting fog in around Newark, and also Atlanta has a little bit of light fog, and there are some delays in Nashville, though. So do check ahead with your air carrier this morning. There could be a few delays, especially some of the major hubs because of the fog. No problems in the west as we are starting out right now. As we look at the current scenario, we're going to be dealing with an area of high pressure, and this area of high pressure is keeping the winds very, very light. As we show you what's going on here across the country as far as the satellite picture is concerned, we have spokes of energy that continue to ride right through the Great Lakes states, and with this spoke of energy, we're seeing a few light sprinkles across the northern parts of New England this morning. There is a frontal boundary that continues to exist right here across Florida with showers and thunderstorms on tap, and then we do have several troughs that have been sliding across the western United States, and as they do, we've been seeing the rain showers sticking in around Seattle and Portland, and that will be part of our change in our weather pattern, because as the spokes of energy decide to ride on through, we're going to see a trough start to dig across the western United States, and that is going to aid with showers and thunderstorms eventually by later on in the weekend and through the weekend developing in the plains. But still, we had a very, very nice day yesterday from Kansas City to Grand Island to Denver, 75 degrees. Talked to some friends in Denver. They said it was a beautiful day, going to go out and play around the Gulf. So tell you what, it's a great day yesterday and today in Denver, looking really nice, really from around Dallas all the way up on through Minneapolis, looking very pretty for your Wednesday as well. Now the moisture is slightly on the increase, and we are going to see this moisture through the plain states starting to come up. Now we have this area of high pressure, as we talked about, right through the nation's heartland, but as the south winds continue to develop right through here, the moisture will start to come up as well, and eventually once this big low, as we have spokes of energy, once a big low starts to carve out, it will become more active right here through the nation's heartland as we head on toward the weekend. For now, though, the fog is definitely one of the big stories. As Rick was talking about, we have very little in the way of precipitation. As promised, our temperatures have come up across the good majority of the nation, about 10 to 15 degrees above normal from Fargo all the way down through Minneapolis yesterday. And we're going to promise you another nice day again today. You can see a tongue of 80s coming up across southern North Dakota. Cool spots will linger across northern New England. We're going to have a little bit more in the way of shower activity. So we'll start you off in New England. Sprinkles here and there. We had some good beneficial rains from New York to Newark in through Philadelphia over the last 24 hours, but those rains are basically out of here, and you can see what I'm talking about. As the satellite picture goes into motion, some of the first few pictures show us the rains that we were dealing with yesterday. They pushed offshore, and the little spoke of energy riding right through here, bringing in some rain showers across New Hampshire this morning, near the New Hampshire, maybe up around Mount Washington, and a few spits and drizzles really starting to dry out very, very quickly as they're pushing off toward Burlington. So for the most part, look for a nice day. New York City, partly cloudy and 74 degrees on this Wednesday. How about we ditto that for those of you in D.C.? So if you get a chance, get out there, enjoy your lunch outdoors, because it's going to be really nice for this Wednesday. And you know that as you get into September, the weather can be very changeable, so enjoy it while it lasts. 56 currently is what you're waking up to in Boston as you're getting out on the road, 60 in New York, and 56 right now in Philadelphia. To the south we go. It's a clear morning. The skies cleared yesterday afternoon in Atlanta. It was really nice by late afternoon. 58 degrees. Super duper day yesterday, looking for a high near 80 today. 72 right now in Panama City, very sultry, soggy conditions from Tampa to Miami. And with this frontal boundary basically nearly stationary across Florida, we don't see any changes today, with showers and thunderstorms expected, maybe a little further south, maybe into Tampa and Siesta Key today, where yesterday we had some of our heavier rain bands around Tallahassee and in through Ocala, with 1 to 2 inches of rain. Currently this morning, there's really not a lot on the radar being picked up. We have a few thunder showers look like trying to develop south of Oklahoma City. If you live in the eastern parts of North Carolina this morning, you're seeing a few isolated showers rushing now east of 95 and sort of dissipating. So nothing really too exciting on this radar picture this morning. And most of the activity in Florida actually has been down around Key West, where we've had showers and thunderstorms. There is a disturbance well into the western Caribbean that could usher up some moisture as we head on through the next 5 days or so, but that is way in the future. So today, scattered thunderstorms in Tampa with 90 degrees for your afternoon. Meanwhile, in Atlanta, it is going to be absolutely gorgeous with 78 degrees as you prepare for a nice day. And in the Midwest, just a little bit of fog this morning, once again around St. Cloud. For the rest of the country's forecast, Rick checks in.
Thanks a lot, Jody, and the good morning forecast will confirm a basically quiet early autumn day across the country. We showed you that front stalled out in Florida, and at midday and this afternoon it'll be the focus for some thunderstorm activity near Orlando, Gainesville, and Ocala. Savannah and Charleston, thunderstorms in your weather picture today too. Now there may be a popcorn storm in Oklahoma and in parts of West Texas near El Paso, possibly near Albuquerque this afternoon and this evening. The most widespread precipitation outside of Florida, the Pacific Northwest near Seattle, Spokane, Yakima, Washington, Portland, and Eugene, Oregon. You have a pretty good chance of some significant rainfall, especially late this afternoon and this evening. Now in the Northeast, any showers are likely to be light from the Adirondacks and Green Mountains over across the Presidential Range into Maine. We're talking a tenth to maybe as much as a quarter of an inch around Burlington and Montpelier up towards Caribou. Should be a dry day with plenty of sun, Boston and New York City. And once that fog burns off around Philadelphia and Richmond, it'll be a sunny afternoon and considerably warmer. And less wet than it was yesterday, certainly. But the state of Florida will be soggy. That front, again, the trigger mechanism for thunderstorms that may, around Orlando, Lakeland, and Tampa, drop more than an inch of rain. Lighter showers near the coast of Georgia and also near the Red River between Oklahoma and Texas. 90s today, Miami. How about San Antonio and Austin? Upper 80s in Dallas, Fort Worth. upper 70s in Chicago with sunshine. St. Louis, you could get to 80 today. And how about some Indian summer weather for you folks in Omaha, Sioux Falls, and Rapid City after last week's frost? Back into the 80s and sunny on this Wednesday. We'll be right back in just a moment. Stick around.
For a scope of coverage you won't find anywhere else, this is Weather Scope This Morning.
There once was a man and a bean. In their shadow a mule could be seen. They walked in the plains and found acres of land that were ripe, fertile, and green. It didn't take long for that bean to grow strong and become 100% Colombian coffee. What, mon ami? You are expecting a rhyme, maybe?
Always look for this symbol to be sure you're buying 100% Colombian coffee.
2 ways to redecorate. While Silly Lily found department store prices inflated, clever Violet called her local Pro Flooring Center, where beautiful Anso carpeting is abundant and very affordable. Determined, Silly Lily tried a warehouse store but had to install it herself. Not Lily. Violet, meanwhile, chose Anso Choice Nylon, fashionable fibers underfoot, at her local Pro Flooring Center, where financing and installation were all arranged. Lily was out of her tree, so Violet persuaded her to call her local Pro Flooring Center. Why monkey around? Call 800-281-EASY.
When you watch the Weather Channel at 20 minutes after the hour, you get an extended outlook with the 5-day business planner. At 42 minutes after the hour, get the temperatures and conditions across Europe with international weather. At 55 minutes after the hour, find out how the weather will affect your drive with a Michelin Driver's Report. And no matter when you tune in, you're never more than minutes away from your local forecast. The Weather Channel, weather you can always turn to. And now your local forecast. Accurate, convenient, and dependable. Only on the Weather Channel.
Anybody can service automobiles, but you're going to be able to take care of the customer. You describe the legend in your over bumps, or do you? Definitely over bump. They come in to see me because they need something to be fixed. They want me to take care of them. Everybody has different problems. Everybody has different needs. See the way I was going this? Move it back. The quality care standards. It just opens up that communication, lets people know that we care.
Quality care people, quality care standards at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Well, it's 12.5 past the hour. Time for the Florida forecast. And let's go right on to the weather map this morning and check on that front It's stalled out across the state right here near Jacksonville to just north of Tampa. Again, this will be